I think we're live. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. How the heck are you? Let me see if I got a QC monitor set up here. I am excited to hang out with you. This is the second live stream today. If I don't know how many of you caught it earlier. I went live with Meet Kevin, kind of unscheduled. Jake, who you might know, said, I have this friend named Kevin you've got to connect with. And we did. But I thought it was just a phone call. And it was a live stream. Somebody said, Matthew, it said okay, it might have been on your end. Hopefully, I think I have everything hooked up here, right? The focus is, it was happening on the Meet Kevin show too. So I hopefully hang on here and I know I'm going to screw it all up. Hopefully you guys had a good week. So let me go here. Where is that? Okay, let me get this. Oh, I should have there's never any easy way. Okay, there. Hopefully that will do it. So the software I use, it's hard to read the comments. And tonight, especially because the last couple of weeks, I went on rants. And you guys don't want me to rant every week now, do you? So I thought I would start off tonight with speaking on a couple of important points, but then just hang out with you guys and have a chat. First off, and I think this is important, there was a couple of Scots in the community section that were talking about their first time homeless and any tips. So if you're watching this, Scott, or if you're in the chat, or anybody else that might be new to homelessness, I don't respond to those questions often because I'm very conscious. I don't want to give you bad information, and I don't know where you are. And as somebody else responded, they learned by asking questions in a park. Plus, I was homeless 25 years ago. The only thing that I can advise somebody new to homelessness is the system is broken. It is broken. And you can't give up. So if a shelter says we're full, call us in a week, call them the next day. If your case manager doesn't call you back, call them back. I mean, be nice about it, but you have to stay on them. And I'm not slamming nonprofits. There's just too much homelessness and they're taxed. So you know the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? You've got to be the squeaky wheel. I hate that it's that way, but you have to call and email and knock and show up. Be nice, but continue on knocking and screaming and asking for help. The other thing was that I was hoping that you'd be in the chat tonight because is Derek with us? I see Addie. There's people in the chat currently experiencing homelessness that have much. Like I said, I was homeless 25 years ago, so I'm not an expert. But there's people in the chat that are experts. Yeah, Derek's here. So Derek's currently homeless. So if you have a question about homelessness right now in survival, it's better to ask Derek than ask me. But chances are, if you're not in Oakland, Derek's probably going to give you the same thing, because here is how the system works. Oh my gosh, I lost my voice because I was on that live stream earlier. But you have to get into what's called a coordinated entry system. And it doesn't matter what services you go to. You can go to the Salvation Army, you can go to John's Shelter or Judy's Shelter or Joe's Tiny Shacks, whatever. You go to that homeless services and they put you in a computer, and then supposedly you get routed to where there's the most support. But like I said, the homeless services is broken, and you just got to keep on keeping on. And then I wanted to talk about Norman, and I didn't have the time to get up a photo. I was gonna. I did ask Michelle and Danny, who've been working with Norman, trying to get him plugged in. So, as many of you asked, I mean, you got probably the second most requests that I get from you guys is start GoFundMes. So the first was EJ, so I was able to do that. Some people cannot handle large amounts of cash, so it has to be safe. Second, they have to be able to set up their own GoFundMe. And that's where we are with Norman. So the PayPal that is set up is his. I validated. So there are people in the comments, and I'm told on other YouTube channels, that try to con out of money. So they pretend to be the homeless person. They might even, I've seen them use my logo and pretend to be us. But if it's not in the pinned comment or in the description, it's not a valid fundraising link. And I make sure that the homeless person themselves, like somebody just asked about Natasha, there's a fundraiser for Natasha. It's raised about 16,000 pounds for her, which is about almost $20,000. And I validated that all the money goes to Natasha. So with Norman, we set up a PayPal account. We did some kind of, Michelle and Danny have been helping him. There are two housed women that go and are helping this homeless community. And the first donations didn't show. I donated $100 and it didn't show. So I was letting Michelle know, and then she's working with Danny, and they ended up, because to have a PayPal account, you have to have a bank account. Well, luckily Norman has ID. However, he lost his Social Security card in a sweep. So Danny took him to a bank, and because his ID is Long Beach, which is 20 miles away maybe, they wouldn't allow him to open up an account where his shack is. So then she drove him to Long Beach, and they wouldn't let him open up an account unless he had his Social Security card with him. So I just want to confirm to those of you that have donated to Norman, that's his PayPal. I've confirmed the money's going to him. We have not validated it yet, meaning hooking up a bank account, but it's in the process. So it's, just not like you can go and create fundraising links for people. And it's important that there's no middleman, that all money raised goes to that homeless person. Otherwise, I won't do it. And then there's times that Bambi, yes, I know I can, but sometimes, there's hundreds of comments left, probably every hour. There's over 1,000 videos. I can't see them all. So you guys, when you see a fraudulent somebody trying to ask for money or posting a Venmo link or something, please let me know so I can go and remove them. But then sometimes I ask people, so like Mona, who we did her video a couple weeks ago, that's raised 200. I'm tired. That raised $20,000 almost. But I asked her when we recorded the video, I said, Mona, would you like to do a GoFundMe? And she said, no, I don't want to. And then when it started getting a lot of views, I asked her again and she changed her mind. So here's the thing on GoFundMes. It's not for everybody. It's not. If it's safe for the person can set it up and they want it, I'll add one. So that is just some brief background of what is going on. In fact, I'm going to put up a video this week of a wonderful woman who's already sent me her GoFundMe link. Her dad, I'm tired. Her husband died, and she's been living outside for 8 years. So Bambi, I understand what you're saying, but then if I block links, it's all links, and then I can't even post a link to another video or a news story. Also, people are just like, here's my Cash App there, or here's my Venmo. They're not adding links. They're pretending to be the homeless person and using Cash App and Venmo, which I will never use. I never have. I mean, I've used it personally to send to money to homeless people, but it is something that we don't use. Walter's in the house. Walter, I saw you earlier commenting about the video with Meet Kevin. So what did you think about that? And so tonight I just thought I'd hang out. We haven't talked in a while, as you can tell. My voice is a little because I went live earlier, wow, looks like a bunch of trolls tonight. So how y'all doing? How was your week? Let me switch this to all right so I can see all the messages. And thank you everybody for donating. You are awesome. Just so you know, and everything we do is for more impact. So when I talk about payroll, I'm talking about now we can scale more impact. We're hiring our second staff member, and her name is Erin, and she already works as our managing editor. She manages all the writers. If you are homeless or formerly homeless and you have experience writing, we would love to hire you. So Erin has been a contract worker, but I am going to, no, I already did. She is our second, wow, anonymous. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. She is our second hire. There's going to be one more hire. When I get to Los Angeles, we're going to hire, hey, Matthew, thank you. Yeah, I got my first payday. 12 years. I have worked 12 years. 12 years. I did the math on how many days. It was like 4,500 and some odd days. I am not going to do the hourly on that because I was probably paid pennies an hour. But I worked 12 years, and the reason for that is because I believe in this. I believe in this work. And obviously, you guys believe in it too, because we're not supported by large grants. We get some, Craig Newmark Philanthropies helps us with a journalism grant. We got a couple of journalism grants last year to write about the pandemic and homelessness. Going into this year, doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of funding. And it's all because of you guys. I mean, majority of our donations are $5 donations, $10 donations, 35 donations. Thank you, Matthew, that run this. And, you know, what's cool about that is it allows us the freedom to be honest. Now, I'm going to be honest anyways, right? But hey, Sandra, thank you. But the truth is, many organizations can't be honest because they're getting money from the government or from some foundations, and real or perceived, they cannot speak freely because they're worried about losing their funding. And I've seen it happen. I've seen nonprofits share openly and honestly about something that's wrong, and then they lost their funding. It's sad. I mean, look at that. Hey, thank you, Planet Walker, and thank you for your donation. You know, I mean, look at Liz Cheney, and I'm not trying to be Republican Democrat here, but you know, Liz Cheney was honest, and then they, you know, went and punished her for being honest. It's a sad part of the world we live in. Thank you, Walter. You know that Kevin is running for governor, Walter. What do you think about that? So I'm undecided. I know Derek has tremendous love for Gavin Newsom. I am saying that with, you know, there's brackets of sarcasm in there. So there's, you know, a bunch of people trying to jump up and get in run for governor under the prospect that the activist party, you know, they're trying to leverage this political madness. Thank you, Anonymous. That if Gavin is removed, from what I'm hearing now, that a lot of that push is going away because the coronavirus is getting better and everybody is not so much upset with the governor anymore. But who knows? Who knows? So what's up, people? What do you want to talk about? Uh-oh. That wasn't supposed to happen. Alexa, turn off living room. Sawar, thank you. Sharon, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome tonight. Hey, Night in Battle, I don't know where you are. If you're having problems donating, just go to our website, invisiblepeople.tv. And for everybody, we do not do these live streams for donations. I mean, a couple of times we've done webinars to raise money, but this isn't it. This is just to hang out and talk to you. The reason that there's a fundraiser is because you all, you know, start donating through Super Chat, and YouTube takes 30%. So if you're going to give $1, which I'm so grateful for, YouTube gets, and I love YouTube, but they get plenty of money. So if you're giving $1 for Invisible People, I want to make sure that dollar, you know, doesn't get shrink. So that's why we have the fundraiser. Thank you, Anonymous. Hey, Menu Frog. Interesting that you remember. So I'm slowly editing. It's so interesting because I've worked in broadcasting all my life. I'm a TV producer by trade, but I suck at camera and I suck at editing. So tonight I'm actually going to try to edit some of that. Hey, thank you, Matthew. Thank you again. Because I would like to get that video out. It's not the best video I've ever done. I tried to hire a cameraman or a camera person for that particular shoot, but none was available. So, John Ohm, I don't know what the curry is that you're trying to propose. And thank you, Addie, for being so awesome about thanking everybody. And Menu Frog, you even have an emoji. And for those of you that are new, Addie is formerly homeless, and Derek is currently homeless. Hopefully that will end sometime soon. And my Krista brother, are we donating Bitcoin? So we have um, an option where you can donate cryptocurrency on our website. I put it there. I don't know why. I think about maybe $100 comes in. The issue is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is anonymous. So people, like when you donate to YouTube here, if you're in the United States, I don't know how it works in other countries. You get a receipt and that's tax deductible because we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So when you donate to Invisible People, you can write that off on your taxes. Well, people that donate cryptocurrency, it's anonymous. So there's no way that they can, they could contact me and we could figure out a way, but that defeats the purpose of cryptocurrency. So I don't expect cryptocurrency becoming a big, maybe for somebody from a different country because they're not going to get a tax credit. Jack, wow, thank you. Oh my gosh. Hi, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Corpse Foot. That is an interesting channel name. So, John Ohm, you're saying there are a lot of societal issues, and of those issues, you tried to condense the solutions down to something that is digestible. Of those digestible solutions, there is a problem if you give someone. So I think you're missing a couple of words there. Sawar, I'm still looking for an apartment, and Menu Frog, my health is so. Kit Kat, hello. I love Quebec. Lady D, I gotta ask now, what's your favorite TV show? Oh, Christian Baza. I don't know if that is. So you're asking for an area that tracks like a dashboard, and some nonprofits do that. We're national in a way. I mean, we publish news every day. You can get if you're an iPhone, go to your news. If you're Android, go to your news app, and we're there. Um, Hey, Corpse Foot, Invisible People, info at Invisible People is still the best email. If I didn't respond, I am just overwhelmed, slammed, and I am not in a position to be able to collaborate with anyone at this particular time. I'm sorry. I am in the process of moving back to Los Angeles in the fall, depending on what project. It's a maybe, but right now I'm just trying to keep my own head above water. Thank you, Sue. I often worry that it's too much with the glasses. So, John, I don't really know what you're saying, but I'm going to take a shot here. Is that homelessness is a symptom, not a cause. So, while the homeless sector is trying to end homelessness, unless you fix the affordable housing crisis, foster care, racism, mental health, addiction, domestic violence, living wage, broken criminal justice system, you're never going to end homelessness. So, Night in Battle, I don't know if I'm a Christian as much as I'm a follower of Jesus. And what I mean by that is, um, yes, you're right. Jesus calls us to love our neighbor, and I do my best at that. But most Christians drive me crazy. So awesome. So I just got a update from Danny, who contacted Michelle, that it's all set up with Norman's card, and it will be up and running tomorrow. They said 24 hours, so I'm guessing tomorrow at some point. Matthew, I am procrastinating. In fact, today I was today I was the goal was to get up and clean out a couple of rooms, but I had this call scheduled with Meet Kevin, and I thought it was just a call, but like at half an hour before, he sends me a link to go live, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And we spent an hour talking, and after that, I haven't done anything today. On the plus side, I did take about 11 bags to the thrift store, her mink coats and a bunch of other stuff. I'd been bagging it up, but I just couldn't bring to take it out of the house. So uh-oh. Is that where to go? Is Addie put slamming the hammer down? Was that Addie never slams the hammer down? I don't know who's in the chat getting Addie going, but better watch it if Addie's slamming the hammer down. Yes, I talked to my father about an hour ago. Okay, but I don't corpse foot. Um, I don't know you. I don't know your project. So you're asking for a seal of support. And to be totally honest, a seal of support, I don't even know what that is. So here's the thing is just do good and good things will happen. Do good and people will trust you. The stamp of validation of invisible people isn't going to help you. I get what you're asking, right? But I don't know. How do I know that your Kickstarter is authentic? How? Right? So it's a strange request. I understand you're asking, and I'm honored that you're asking me, but I'm just some guy trying to survive and doing my best to end homelessness. So I'm not somebody that can validate your Kickstarter campaign. I'm sorry. And it's not you, it's anybody. I'm not that person. I mean, if you need somebody to validate your Kickstarter, I would continue looking, but my stamp of approval isn't going to help. A1 and A2, that's awesome. And it is. And, we wrote an article about a Muslim community that's helping homeless people. And there's a bunch of atheist groups that are helping homeless people. I mean, Christians often think that they have the market cornered on compassion, but no. Wow. Jewel, thank you. Yeah, Matthew, it's and I don't know. Addie's been easy. I think she has a PayPal, Derek has been easy too. He has a PayPal, but I spend a good amount of time every week trying to figure out. I mean, I only share a little bit of what we do to help people, and I spend a good part of every week behind the scenes trying to figure out how to get money to a homeless person. And what's happened since 9/11 with terrorism and money laundering with criminals, they have just shut down and tightened everything up. And I kind of understand that, but part of the fallout is if I have a homeless family in Austin, Texas that needs food and they have no identification and no bank account or PayPal, the best I can do is email them a Walmart gift card, which I've done so much. Walmart shut me off. I used to have to call Walmart because they shut me off. I would order, four $50 gift cards one day, four the next day, six the next day, two the next day, and they would shut me off all the time. And then I would have to call corporate and say, no, we're a nonprofit. We're trying to help homeless families get food. And eventually they just shut me off. Sharon, ding, 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 we have a winner. Yeah, Matthew, other grocery stores do, but for instance, in this particular situation, Walmart is often the best. Jack, oh my gosh, another one. Wow, thank you. Is that is that what you were slamming the hammer down, Addie? Was there a debate? I must have missed it. Was there a debate on vaccines? Personally, I have found that glowing in the dark has been really kind of beneficial. Lady T, did you share what favorite TV show is you paused? Um, Picking for a living. I don't recognize the name. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that work on Skid Row. There's a lot of people on Skid Row. Milk is in the house. Jack, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Naked and afraid. I'm afraid to ask what that is. Corpse Foot, I mean, just by offering me the funds, that, nah. I'm sorry, man. And again, I you know I'm grateful for all of you that help make invisible people, but you're asking for a stamp of approval, and that's something that I don't give to anybody, and especially not for a fundraiser or a Kickstarter for a film. I want to encourage you to keep, if you have a dream to raise money for a film, which is extremely hard, keep after your dream. But offering a stranger like me money, uh, and I get you're looking at ways to raise money, but that doesn't help your case. The best thing you can do to help your Kickstarter is just be authentic and real, and the rest will happen. And I am honored. I'm honored that you asked me, but it's not something that we do. Hey, Deborah. Yes, I do. Much of it is automated, and Aaron also runs it. I at Hardly Normal. Deborah is my main Twitter. If you really want to get my attention, why do you ask, Deborah? Why do you ask about the Invisible People Twitter? If you have a recommendation, I would love to hear, because what we do, we have a lot of evergreen content. Um, and I try to mix it in with fresh content. So I'm always worried that we're um, uh, maybe oversharing. Is somebody saying the audio is too quiet? Let me see. Audio. Where's the audio? There it is. I my voice is hurting, so I haven't been talking very loud, so I apologize. So Jack, Calgary is. I hope to visit soon. I've been to Calgary a bunch of times. There's a wonderful video of Donnie, who I was in Calgary with an outreach team, and it was freezing cold, and I was just about to beg them to leave, and we walked down one more block, and here's Donnie, homeless for 21 years, standing over a heat grate, and I did his video, and the Calgary community saw him on Invisible People, and they went and found him and housed him. That same night, you probably are familiar with the Drop-In Center. I think it's one of the biggest shelters in North America. It's in Calgary. There was Terry Pettigrew, who was homeless since 8. He was 58 years old, and he was dying of cancer. And so at the time, I was unemployed. In fact, I was unemployed all the way till last week. But at the time, I was unemployed, and I was really scared about being able to survive. And here's this man dying of cancer in a homeless shelter, talking to me like a grandfather. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful, encouraging me to keep going. So that night, I went and put the video up. Sometimes it takes me a week, maybe a month. But Terry Pettigrew was so encouraging to me. The Calgary newspaper found the video. They put it on their homepage. And then Terry's brother, who he hadn't seen in 33 years, saw the video, and the family was united. So Terry passed away like about a month after that, with family. And the letter that Terry's brother's wife wrote me is on Invisible People. Just really powerful. So, this is what I tell everybody, is educate yourself on homelessness. Get politically active. You have the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness. I know, and he might even be, Tim Richter might even be lurking in the chat. Is a wonderful organization. They're national. CAEH, I think, I don't know what their URL is, Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness. I know they're based out of Calgary, but that might be a place to start. There's something called the Homeless Hub, which is a research thing with, I think it's in Vancouver, it's Toronto, that has a wonderful information about homelessness. And just so you know, your government had me go to 24 cities in Canada quite a few years ago. It was a trip of a lifetime. And I'm hoping to do it again. So educate yourself, get politically active. And the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness has now gone into advocacy. So I could for the United States, there's a link in the description for you to contact your legislators. But Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness is the best to do there. And then I think there's some wonderful services in Calgary. But I'm glad. I was white hatted by your mayor. I don't have the white hat anymore. There's a long story behind that. And Jack knows what I mean. So I should tell Calgary. If you look at Canada and you go west to east, it's very similar to United States west to east. So Vancouver is very much like San Francisco and Los Angeles. Calgary is very much like Dallas, and then you have Toronto, which is very much like New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C. And so Calgary has this big thing called the Stampede. Oh, I forgot. So Jack, I even had a naming ceremony in Calgary. So Calgary has a Stampede, and why it came to mind is that's where the naming ceremony was. So it's a big cattle cowboy thing. And like most cities, the mayor, gives you the key to the city. Well, in Calgary, they white hat you. The mayor white hats you. And the mayor of Calgary white hatted me. But even better, and people in the United States don't necessarily understand this. People in Canada, it's like winning the lottery. But I was given an Aboriginal name, an Indigenous name. And it's truly an honor. So my name is Biumaka, and it was a Blackfoot shaman who did the naming ceremony so that I could have an Aboriginal name so I can go on reserves. We call them reservations. In Canada, they call them reserves. And it was such an honor. So I asked the shaman, I said, what does Biumaka mean? And he says, travels far. And I was like, oh my gosh, I came from Los Angeles. How did he know I was traveled far? And he says, no, you help other people go from here to here. You help other people travel far. Oh my gosh. And he was praying with the tobacco and everything else. And Jack, if you go to my channel, I spoke at a TEDx in Calgary. That's my favorite TEDx. I've done 4 TEDx. It was really great because I cut up interviews from homeless people. God, I really am losing my voice. I cut up interviews from homeless people because a big part of what I do is I don't want to be speaking to you guys. I want Addie and Derek and homeless people. And I understand that I've become part of the story too. But anyways, what I did for this Calgary TEDx, which is still my favorite TEDx that I've done, is I cut up little sections of homeless people in Canada speaking, and I bridged them together. But it's really, really, really awesome. So thank you helping me go down my Canadian memories. Oh, hot issues. What's your opinion on the right blaming the left and making up lies about California homelessness? Oh my gosh. I deal with this all day in the YouTube comments. People say, oh, it's a Democratic city. It's a Democratic. You don't see Democrats saying, oh, it's a Republican city. It's a Republican city. Only Republicans complaining about Democrats. That is a byproduct of the right-wing media. And the right-wing media is manipulating us for dollars. But homelessness is an American problem. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican problem. It's not a left problem. It's not a right problem. There is just as much homelessness in Republican cities, respectively, as there is in Democrat cities. There is no city in America that does not have an affordable housing crisis and a homeless crisis. And crime is growing in all of them. It is not a right-left issue. It is American. And we have to, I said I wasn't going to rant, and my voice isn't going to allow it, But we have to figure out a way. We have to stop this finger pointing. So when you're pointing your finger, there's 3 fingers pointed back at you. When you're saying them stinking Democrats, there's 3 fingers pointed back at you. All of us, not Democrats, not Republicans, we're all Americans, and we gotta stop this stinking. I mean, Trump is out of office and they're still counting ballots in Arizona, and they're looking for bamboo shoots, and they're putting them under infrared light because there's a QAnon watermark theory. The dude is lost the election. There was no mass voter fraud. None. There was no mass voter fraud. And even this week, he releases a statement on how the election was a big fraud. It's stupid, and it's destroying this country. And we got to get back to being Americans. When I was growing up, my stepfather was a Republican. He was a kind gentleman that cared about Republican values that included honesty and compassion. The Republican Party today, the Trump Party, I have no idea what it is. I mean, they're recounting votes in Arizona looking for bamboo shoots because somebody somewhere got Trump to believe that there's a bunch of ballots that came in from Asia. Do any of you hear how absolutely ridiculous that sounds? Anyways, homelessness is an American problem. All our problems are American problems. And we got to get back to honesty, integrity, communication, compromise. Oh, Deborah. Okay, now you did DM. I was listening to a Clubhouse, and I did look at your profile, and it looked like you were doing some cool stuff, so I followed you. Sorry, I don't monitor the DMs. I did get them. I didn't get a chance to respond. And if you're doing something about homelessness, send me some information. My email is info@invisiblepeople.tv. I I need, there's a wonderful woman, Meredith. She runs a nonprofit, Caridad, in Vegas, and I've been under in the tunnels, and I've been promising her I have to visit. And to be totally candid, if I remember right, your profile said that you had 4 regional Emmys, and I'm always looking for people to collaborate with, because when you travel, it's easier to hire a shooter, an editor, or wherever. So I just started following you, and that was the reason. Hopefully that answers your question, and thanks for responding. And nice to meet you. And I'd like to know more about your film. We just produced, so if you haven't seen Deborah on our, if you haven't seen our mini documentaries, if you look at our channel, it's the first row. We have 2 new mini documentaries coming out. If you look at, if you type homeless 2021, that's a 13-minute short by a producer, Luciana. We didn't do that, but we did the distribution, allowed her to post it on YouTube. We get a lot of people asking us because we almost have 1 million subs. And many of them are well produced, but the story isn't right. So Luciana got it right. And now I'm funding short scripted films. Luciana and I, well, it's really her. I'm just the guy behind the scenes. we just finished our first short on a woman that was evicted, being now living in her house and in her car. A woman evicted living in her house. I am tired. So, anyways, uh, um, we're doing mini documentaries. We're also doing video journalism, and we're doing scripted. I don't know what you're doing, but let me know. Oh, I gotta ask. So I don't post these on Twitter. So Deborah, you must have gone and followed us on YouTube and got the announcement that way. Matthew, wow, thank you. Oh my gosh. Info@invisiblepeople.tv. And everybody else, please be nice to my inbox. It's like Corpsefoot said earlier that they sent an email and I get so many of them. Leo, I have been to Stockholm a couple of times. It is a global issue. And again, I am sorry. I'm just tired tonight. Dylan Hollander. Yes, we call them shooters. And Deborah and Corpsefoot and anybody else that works in video might get a little bit of humor from this next story. My favorite video editor, his name is Fran. And Fran is a little bit unkempt. He's just a very eclectic person. So he had a gig videotaping the mayor of Los Angeles, and he was late. So he was speeding down the freeway, and LAPD stops him. And the LAPD officer walks up to the door, and says, where are you going? And Fran says, can we hurry up? I have to go shoot the mayor. Kid you not. And of course, that delayed the trip a little longer. Annie, I'm sorry you're tired. Hey, D, money that is donated is used to help us create educational content to help end homelessness. A lot of nonprofits do direct services, and we help homeless people all we can, but it's important that services aren't mirrored. What we do is we try to educate the public because there is so much misinformation. And then we get people to advocate for more affordable housing and fix broken systems. We have a Learn More section, which is the only place online for young adults to learn about homelessness. That's not a 46-page PDF that is an academic PDF or a fundraiser from information, a website fundraising for some nonprofit. We do daily journalism. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, if you open your news app, we're there. We have 68 writers. Not all of them write full time. 17 are regular contributors. Many of them. I think I don't know the exact number, but about 7 are homeless and 7 are formerly homeless. So there's some workforce development there. All our writers are not paid by their housing status, they're paid by their skills. And we have what we're known for is our video interviews. We have over 1,000 interviews of homeless people from around the world, mostly North America and the UK. And we do mini documentaries, and we do scripted films. We did a VR. Who in here has an Oculus Quest? Does anybody here have an Oculus Quest? We did a VR movie with Oculus, which is Facebook. And why this is all important is that the biggest obstacle to end homelessness is the public's lack of connection, lack of understanding of homelessness is our biggest obstacle to end it. Right now, many people are pushing for police action. They're pushing for police to come in and arrest. And at $150,000 a year to keep somebody in a jail cell, arresting our way out of homelessness is insane. Much of it is based on people fear homelessness. People fear homeless people. They literally look at homeless people. They call them vagrants. They think, that they're scary monsters. I could go on, but our work is important. We're the only ones doing it. And the donations go for us to innovative storytelling, journalism, and advocacy. Oh, Jewel, it wasn't me. It was a editor I work with named Fran. Hey, Anonymous, thank you. Matthew, oh my gosh, wow. Matthew, you helped make that happen, and thank you. Yeah, folks, I did that. I put it in the community section. The interview I did with Meet Kevin today, and I lost my voice, and sorry. Yes, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everybody. Jack, Anonymous, all of you. Menu Frog, that's funny. Thank you, Matthew. You're so very kind. Yeah, Casual Flipper. I did. I lost my voice. Sunshine Girl, I haven't seen you in a while. Deborah, is your film that you're doing scripted or unscripted? So here, we're getting close. We are at the end. I'll do a couple of things here. How about that? So, if anybody has, this is our Oculus movie. Hopefully I spelled Oculus right. I am that tired. Oh, I didn't. Oh. So this film is cutting edge. Oculus partnered with Invisible People film director Rose Crochet. And it is really, really, really cool. For me, why I like it, it's Rocky. Rocky was homeless when we did this. A big part of why Rose and Oculus did a VR movie with homeless people as actors is me. In fact, I did a BTS with Rose, and I asked her, I said, why did you use homeless people? And she looked at the camera and she said, well, you, Mark. So it's a story of Rocky, and you learn her story by touching objects. You're in her tent, and it is powerful. So I cannot stress how much, and the pandemic hurt it. We would have won Tribeca if it wasn't for, and I know I'm going to get, so here is, one second. And this is, oops. So this is, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? You're getting some extra minutes out of me. So this is our Invisible Stories playlist. There's 9 mini documentaries in there. Really awesome. We have 2 new ones coming up with a bunch of sex workers that were helping sex workers on Skid Row and USC medical team, both coming up, and our other scripted. And I know she asked about scripted, so I will. And then we have, and she was with us last week. So, oops, I'm in the wrong place for that. I have too many windows open. This is what happens when you have too many windows open. So, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. And this is our first news journalism. We're doing one this weekend or this week on veterans at Veterans Row in Los Angeles. So this is with our journalist, Crystal, and I just, there we go. Come on. So this is our first news journalism, and I know you asked for scripted, so that is coming next, I promise. So this is our news. And then after I go through all this, because it was painful for me too, but I committed. Committing is half the battle. And it comes up. So this, and many of you guys remember this because you helped promote it. So this is our first scripted. And when I mean scripted, I'm very honest. So this is our first scripted that, come on. That we did the distribution. So our second scripted that we do the whole thing, and that I just posted the Homeless, which is a powerful film. So all our scripted are still based on, oh, you know what? I got to help you with one more thing. If anybody's interested. Sure, my computer froze. So this is research we did. I keep on not forgetting to talk about the research. Oh, my computer's frozen. I think it's time to go soon. I can't talk. The computer's not working. It is time. Oh, come on. Yeah. Let me go here. Okay, so years ago, and it's the channel video on our channel. PBS did a documentary on me. It failed. One of the things, I had nothing to do with it except, the movie was about me. Um, One of the things that I learned from it was that, so my goal and the goal of Invisible People is to change harmful perceptions that people have about homelessness. So only people that have an affinity for homeless people, meaning they like homeless people already, are going to sit through a 2-hour movie on homelessness. Um, it, you know, it's just the way it is. So if you're going to produce content to change people's beliefs on homelessness, long form, I don't believe is a good solution. There's still a place for long form art. And if you have a great story on homelessness, by all means, produce the movie. But if your goal is like ours, which is to reach people who don't normally like homeless people, a long form movie might not be the solution. And how I know this is the movie company produced a couple of webisodes. They were great. They were really, really good. So when we started doing content, like for instance, Oculus produced, and this is why I shared everything. The Oculus VR movie, if you own a Quest, try it out. It's mind blowing. You will cry. I don't care. You could be the hardest Navy SEAL in the world. You're going to cry because you experience Rocky living in her tent. Then what I saw, because again, headsets are a very niche market. And so I produced 180 videos. I should have shared them too, because Derek's in them. And so the 180 videos got me thinking, in the VR videos, that I should start doing mini documentaries. So I actually sold the mini documentaries as a sponsorship to a major brand. But then this thing called the pandemic hit, and it just changed everything. So last year, I set out to produce 5, and we ended up producing 9 mini documentaries. So those are really, really great. Now, when I'm talking about the scripted that we're doing, if you watch, and I put a link in, Homeless, it's 13 minutes long. It touches all the points. It's got a sad ending. I almost didn't do the distribution for it because it has a sad, sad ending. But you guys all liked it through live chats and through the community feature. Your feedback was really, really amazing about the scripted film. So that's when I talked to Luciana and I said, hey, if I funded some of these, if Invisible People got behind it, let's do some more scripted. So our first one is on a woman evicted living in her car. Our second one is going to be about eviction. And I got to stress, one of the things that I learned doing the doc movies for a long time is, if nobody sees it, what's the point? So then the last couple of years, I have been building an audience, and we're going to soon hit 1 million subscribers. So if you add mini docs, video journalism, scripted content, first-person interviews, vlogs, all the different types of content we're doing. And once I get back to Los Angeles, we're going to make our news content that is journalism right now come over to video, and it is going to be extremely powerful. We're going to take our news journalism and make it come to life. I also got an idea that I don't know if you guys remember the cartoons I used to produce 7, 8, 9 years ago, but I think next week I'm going to produce some cartoons. So Hopefully that answered your question. And it's 11 minutes after, and I almost don't have a voice. So said Cam, that's not a bad idea, but in 5 years, trucks will drive themselves and 4 million truckers will be out of work. 7 million data entry clerks will be out of work. Cashiers are almost already replaced. Automation is going to kill most jobs. What then? Oh, Matthew, I love NOLA too. Linda, I don't know if it's going to be a daily news show, but it probably will be weekly. Miss So, how are you? And keep on asking me that question. So Mossy, Shelter started off really good, but then it kind of got really crazy. And what I meant, the story just got weird. Yeah, Mr. B, I mean, jobs as we know them are going away. So, politicians have been trying to, Mexico, China stealing jobs. No, computers are going to be stealing jobs. And they know it. But the reason they say Mexico and China is because they, can get the emotions. They're saying it to vote. Oh, I love Cafe du Monde. Is that where you live, Matthew? Oh, Derek's working on some Just remember, Derek, I'm the one who first discovered you. Well, I think it was NBC that first discovered you because I found you through a live streaming thing that you were doing through, I think it was an NBC news piece. And NBC might not have been but it was a news piece. Thanks, Seth. Okay, folks, I went a little long tonight. I just want to say, hey, John, if it's there, I'll do my best. Please, if you email me, please keep them short. I lose emails. I get so many, from tweets to comments to, I get so many. One of the things I'm thinking about doing is I need to hire some admin help. Yeah, see, it was NBC. I have a memory. Okay, folks, I love Sunday nights with you guys. I look forward to it. Melka is the one who kind of started this by talking me into going weekly. I think the world of you. I believe my laptop's about to shut off. So I'm just going to quickly say goodbye then. Hey, people, I love you. Next week, see you at 8:30. Have a marvelous, marvelous week. Bye.